Hi, my name is Sage, and this week I wanted to make a baby cow out of clay, but I also wanted to give this cow two heads. And so my journey begins with a wooden base and some tinfoil. And then I take the tinfoil, roll it up hot dog style, before then scrunching it up. Next, I end up adding some more tinfoil just to bulk up the body of the cows. And then I roll, scrunch, fold some more tinfoil to make the first head of the cow. And since it's a two-headed cow, I then make another one. Next, I rip some tinfoil to wrap around the body and necks to attach them together. Or that's at least what I thought I was gonna do, but I do end up using some hot glue to adhere both heads, just to make sure everything's super secure. I then decide to bulk up the heads by adding a bit more of a snout on both of them. They do end up looking like ducks at this stage, but that's okay. I like ducks too. Next, I add a layer of clay over top of the tinfoil. And now, they look even more like ducks. But sometimes you just have to trust the process. Like for instance, my camera was so shocked at the transformation, it couldn't even focus. And I'm gonna show you how I did this, but on the second head. First, I poke in some eye sockets. Next, I adjust her snout to be more cow-like. Then I get some clay, roll it, and give her some snatched brow bones. Her and her sister are obviously the talk of the farm. And so they gotta be looking good. And next, I go in with my stylus and blend in her brows with her face. And since she isn't just beauty, but also brains, I add some clay to bulk up her head too. Before then going back and making some minor adjustments to her face, because I can't do things in order. And now, bam, it's ear time! And now she can hear her sister tell her all about the utterly amazing dairy tales she heard. I then make some eyes and put them in the eye sockets, but don't get attached to them because I didn't. Next, I carve out her smile because she's a happy cow. You could say she is moveless. After that, I carve out her nostrils because she be smelling if anyone be saying any bull. Then I add to her brows yet again because I am indecisive about everything. And this leads, get it, leads to me adjusting every part of her face. So now it's montage time of me doing exactly that until I go back and fix her eyes. And so I pull them out and put smaller ones in. I then make them both more eye-like with just some minor adjustments. And then next, I make one front leg and one back leg, and I will show you how I made them on the other side. First, I roll a little log before folding it in half and pressing it into the body before then adding a shoulder and blending it in with my stylus. Next, I make the hind leg by pressing in a circular piece of clay and pinching out the rest. Next, I build up the back leg so that it sticks out on top, before then blending it in. Next, I extend the back leg further so it comes out even more. And then I make their back ridge more prominent. After that, I continue to smooth the cows out with my hands, as well as jumping around to random areas, just doing minor touch-ups. Before I add the last thing, which is the tail. And this is what they look like before getting popped into the oven to bake. They took me a lot longer than I thought to carve out. Altogether, it was just over 10 hours. And this is them after. They are a bit crispy, but I am going to paint over them. But before that, I'm going to paint the base an umber brown. Then I give them one coat of black paint before realizing I'm definitely gonna need a few. And 3 coats later, this is what they look like. I am super happy with how opaque that they turned out. Next, I paint a crescent moon on one of the cows' foreheads because moons are cool. Before then randomly painting white spots all over their body. I then go to paint the opposite moon on the other cow head, but I didn't like it. So I continue putting white spots everywhere else before then giving each spot 3 layers of paint. And now that they are nice and opaque, I then go back and repaint the moon over. And second time's a charm. I then move on to painting the eyes. And for the eyes, I paint their water lines white before then putting a white dot on the eye itself. I then continue this method for all 4 eyes until they look like this. And now I can move on to decorating the wooden base. And to start, I put some hot glue on it before then covering it with fake moss. So once it's all covered, it'll look like a small field patch. I then get a fake dollar store plant, take off the small flowers, then cut the snippets off of them. Next, I glue them to the fake moss, and continue this until I think it looks good. And since we're coming up to the end of the video, I would just like to say thank you so much for watching. Links to all my socials are in my description if you want to follow me anywhere else. And now, it's time for the glamour shots.